And welcome to Blades and Banners, a Tales in the Valiant actual play set in the Eberron campaign world. Eric, what happened last time?
So, we had a conversation with a dwarf who was annoyed that we were there, following him specifically, after getting something from the crew. From, he says, flipping through his notes frantically, the other island that we don't like.
The Riptide Principality.
Riptide Principality. The dwarf's name was Korga. Anyway, then we did not. Eliwyse followed and eavesdropped on the conversation, and we discovered that Korga is working with someone named Lady Demise, whoever that might be.
It's a mystery.
One, not worth investigating any further. And we then returned to the Riptide ship, and Orin snuck aboard and mage hand the letter with the formula.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Off the ship, and then swam back to safety like a champ. And that's what we did.
That's right. That is what you did. Well, in addition, you escaped. So
yes,
hooray!
Huzzah!
Huzzah.
Toast my back.
Oh yeah. I put him to sleep. That's right. I cast sleep on him, and he knocked out. Yep.
You put him to sleep.
Terrible time for a nap.
Everything you did was overshadowed by Casey's use of "toast my bats."
I love it so much. That's
as an exclamation.
Should have ended the campaign right there. It gets
joy.
No better for our Unionists.
We will do nothing funnier than that.
That was the moment. And none of y'all know why.
I had to field questions about the vending machine debate during our watch party.
Indeed. So, in the meantime, so you will all notice we are absent a Casey this evening. She is taking care of a sick kiddo, and so will not be able to join us tonight. We are going to absent Eliwyse from the story for this session, and our players will be going off dealing with something else. So,
what
Casey's
else? Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, because we don't know.
Yes. So, Casey will be back, just not today. So you all are able to return safely to 7th, and are rewarded by Lesh Durga with a purse of 75 gold pieces each.
Heck
wow,
yeah.
All right.
Durga is obviously pleased, and takes, well, I assume you hand over the document you absconded with. Yes. Takes that to have it studied, and to determine what hay might be made of it, in
While
her
the sun
ongoing
shines.
Well, the sun shines. In her ongoing feud with the Riptide Principality. So, yes.
Sorry, I should have asked this off camera. Maybe some viewers will be interested. Is there a metric that we're gauging relationships with people by that we should be tracking?
No.
Okay.
Not at the moment, at least.
Heard.
So, all of you have just received a substantial chunk of money. And so it is unsurprising that we're going to say you have taken your ship and headed back out to go spend some of it. Eliwyse has not joined you on this voyage. Eliwyse has remained on 7th to do something, which she seemed a little bit cagey about.
Definitely talking to an elemental, and I will not hear otherwise. That's what she's doing.
That seems entirely plausible based on what we know of Eliwyse up to this point. But meanwhile, you all have headed back over to Ninebay, to the port of Rowan Point, which is around on the southwest side of the isle and is the domain of Sea Lord Sylvia Rowan. Not Rowan, sorry, Sylvia Farwynds, who is the Sea Lord of Rowan Point, whose niece is a friend of Orin's. So y'all are at a tavern at Rowan Point. Eric, what's the tavern called?
The Thread and Spindle.
The Thread and Spindle. Lovely.
Wow.
Miley's been doing a lot of embroidery lately.
It's just a knitting group with cocktails. That's what this is.
Having a drink with Orin's friend Ro Farwynds. Ro is a captain of a small vessel. She is a human with kind of auburn hair and a generally optimistic outlook on life. Orin, how did you and Ro become friends?
That's a great question, and one a better player would have thought about before this moment, so I obviously did think about it, and the answer I came up with was, no, I'm sure that Ro's captaining of a ship, but also just general free spirit that comes from being a captain in the Lazar Principalities was like something that Orin tries to emulate. But when Orin was assigned to one of the ships in the fleet, he challenged Ro to a race, like out into the bay. And he snuck aboard her ship and like unhooked the rudders, and she thought that was particularly funny and a good dastardly way to try and win the race, even though we did not. But that was the initial like, okay, this guy might be all right moment with Ro and Orin.
Awesome. So the other thing that you know about Ro is she does not think much of High Prince Ryger Irwinarn and his pretensions. All right.
Probably they also bonded over that as well.
Yeah. I mean, just because you put Irwinarn after your name, she says, some drinks in. Just because you put Irwinarn after your name doesn't make you part of some royal family.
Right.
And just because, even if you are part of some royal family, it doesn't give you right to tell all the other captains what to do.
Right.
Look, I mean, maybe the principalities would be better off more unified than they are.
Right.
But not by force and not under some sort of monarchical arrangement. There could be all sorts of other things. There could be a council of captains or something like that. I don't know. What? Ask someone else. I don't know. But just...
Right.
Yeah. I'm sick of it. And I don't know. I feel like there's something more for the principalities and Raga just wants to turn it into just another country.
Another one of the nations, exactly, that have been
Just
tried
another- just
and been
sixth
failing.
nation.
Yes.
It's just, it's just not. And I'm not like, it's not like Jorge was awesome, or that the Cloud Reavers are right and it's all anarchy and destruction and we're pirates so we plunder and pillage and all this nonsense. Just, we don't need a king. There doesn't need to be a pirate king.
Yes, exactly.
Right?
And I don't think everybody needs to be pirates. It's just like it's a collective of individuals that want freedom, that prioritize freedom and a lack of people in fancy hats and nice chairs telling everyone else what to do. And as you were saying, the High Prince wants to go backwards. It's ridiculous.
Right. Yeah.
But we can still wear fancy hats, though, right?
I could go for a nice chair. I'd
Okay.
say my back.
Yeah.
Is,
I was being
I
reductive
understand
of
the
the
appeal
royalty intentionally.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Anyone can have fancy hats. Right.
And nice chairs.
Nice
Fancy
chair,
hats
right,
and nice chairs for everyone.
Amen. Right.
Yeah, cheers to that. Right. Yeah. Drop it. Right.
Yeah. Throws back another. Almost leans backwards out of her chair, catches herself. Ro may or may not be developing physicality, not unlike my own.
Found who you're cosplaying as for GN
I was going to say, those who have only watched me on screen in a very, very stable chair don't know that I spend almost all of my time in chairs leaning back on the two legs.
It's very true. It's very
And sometimes not successful.
However, your capacity to walk backwards for long stretches of time is quite impressive.
uncanny.
That's true.
Uncanny.
I'm good at that.
It is a skill.
I'm so sorry. I'm going to be the audience here. Why do you know this?
So
College
at
for
the
a
college
long
that we all
time.
attended, the
You all walk
sidewalks.
backwards.
We did not all walk backwards.
Okay.
One of us walked backwards so that he could be part of the conversation of three people, while two of them walked side by side on the sidewalk.
Smoking
So
cigarettes.
get a couple paces ahead, turn around, and walk backwards so that we all could continue.
He would
talking.
be upwind
and
facing
he would just
us.
spider sense around people that were walking towards us.
Really?
So
It's
yeah.
Because
I have
I'm
good
guessing you guys had no
kinesthetic
interest
senses.
in telling him if you were about to hit someone. You just watched.
We didn't
There
need
wasn't
to.
any kind of malicious intent. We were just busy talking, and we knew that we didn't need to. Exactly.
You get to a point and you're like, he just knows what's in the world.
Fair.
So. Anyway.
So yes. So yeah,
Weird
Ro
derail.
takes another large drink, catches herself, leans back forward aggressively, and slams her cup down.
Oh.
Not that anyone asks me. You know.
But
How are things with your aunt lately?
I think they're good. She's I don't know, she's just always talking like I'm missing something. Like I'm not reaching my full potential or living up to this, that, or the other thing. And it's just like, whatever, I'm happy. I got a ship. I got a crew, and we do fine. We make enough. It's not like she's out to be pirate queen or anything like that. Just, it's all right. It's all right.
What do you want to do, though?
I don't know, be a successful captain and maybe one day see that the principalities aren't ruled by some wannabe king. Just, I don't know. So I don't know, just to do my thing and let other people do their thing. And yeah, maybe, okay, so one day it'd be cool if all the principalities all agreed that we don't need a high prince to be overlord over us and wear a bigger feather in his hat.
How does your
Not
aunt
that Ryger
feel
even
about-
bothers with a hat.
Does your aunt agree with your
Hardly
sentiment?
looks like a pirate.
He does have a nice coat.
Yes, it is a nice coat.
How does your aunt feel about your sentiments about our high prince?
Yeah, I don't know. She just kind of always talking about. I mean, she's all obsessed with the stars and the planets and the positions of things and what it all means, and so she's always talking like things that I don't understand, and it's always like, right now it's Ryger's time, but one day things will be different, and
when the moon is in the seventh house and Jupiter aligns with Mars.
Right. I don't know who those people are, but but yeah, when that moon is in the right spot, that sort of thing. She's always in her orrery room, and yeah. So it's just, I don't know exactly. Maybe I talk excessively openly about that sort of thing, and she's smarter for being less vocal about the most powerful prince in the principalities. All right, yeah, I kind of see it.
Well, he wouldn't be a good pirate high prince if he started silencing voices against him, I guess. Pirating and authoritarianism don't really go hand in hand.
Right.
Except on a ship, obviously, because you have to respect the captain. But so I guess I could see if somebody's been a captain long enough, they start expanding that thought of, oh, it's really nice when everyone listens to me and has to. So
right, now I'm like the captain of captains.
Oh, yeah. How old is Lady Sylvia, Philip?
That's a really difficult question to answer, unless Orin is the kind of person that would ask a grown woman, how old are you?
Like, her niece doesn't know how old her aunt is?
Have you ever asked?
I guess not.
Lady Sylvia, it's very hard to tell Lady Sylvia's age by appearance. She is a Korovar. She's half elf.
Oh, okay.
And is got a lot of the sort of the elvish ethereal grace to her. Very, very, very black hair and dark eyes. She doesn't look like someone who is aging. And if she is, she looks like someone who's aging extremely gracefully.
Gotcha.
Couldn't be me.
Well, Ro, perhaps one day you could be Sea Lord of Redwick Point and start making bigger waves with your ideas in a position of power. Depending on how your aunt feels about you, that is.
I mean, obviously that's what she wants. She wants me to live up to my potential and all that.
You have a louder voice.
Yeah, I guess.
If you care about these things.
There's all this like accounting and trade negotiations and...
Could you not just hire people to do that?
I guess. But then is it really me doing it? And am I too reliant on advisors if I can't do it myself? And there's all these stuff with the Stoneheart Principality and logging rights on Ninebay right now. And I'm just like, what do I care? As long as they're not, clear-cutting forests, fine. Yeah, we need to cut down trees to build ships. And if the Stoneheart are really good at that, then sure, why not let them do that? But it can't just be that. It's like all this thing about percentages and exports and tariffs and...
You're correct. I am thoroughly bored now, so...
Right.
Exactly.
So what do you want to do in the more immediate?
I'm so sorry. Just real quick. You didn't you guys get mad at me when I was you guys said I was being rude to Taryn, and
No,
you just told her you were bored. I just need to understand the difference.
She was attempting to talk about something at length to prove how boring and tedious it is.
Oh.
So by saying we are thoroughly bored, we are agreeing with Rose's exasperated nature over the topics of the logging rights in the Stoneheart Principality.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, okay. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
But if she was talking about the High Prince stuff, and I went, oh, I'm thoroughly bored by this, that would have been rude because she was clearly excited by it. Right, Ro?
Yes. Yes. Well, whatever. It's all just whatever, I'm just figuring it out.
It seems like you have a lot of pent-up energy that we need to get out in some way. So...
I don't know. Maybe I just... Anyway. What was I supposed to be saying? Oh, yeah. Aunt Sylvia's got a job if you're looking for one.
Oh, good.
That's what I meant to say when I sat down.
I don't know where I thought this conversation was headed, but that was a far left from... What sort of job?
It's something to do with the logging.
Oh, okay. Well, the hot topic of the hour, it seems. All right. Well, are you going to be joining us, or do you have something else going on with the Sea Shadow?
No, I don't want to.
Right. Fine. I don't want to spend more time with you either.
So
that was sarcasm. Seraphine.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. So she needs something with the logging rights, and I don't want to do it. So she's looking for a crew if you or a bit. I've had too many things, I think.
It appears to be kicking in, lad. Any direction on where we might go for some more specifics on the task?
Yeah, her house, big one on the hill.
All right. Well, drink some water. Be sure to hydrate before you go to sleep, so you feel
go
better.
Drink some water and go back to the ship.
Sounds good. We need to race again now that I have my own ship. By the way,
yes, that is a great idea. Yes, absolutely, we do.
All right.
We'll work the logistics of that.
Let me figure out how long this job with your aunt's going to take, and then we'll set a time. Maybe
Perfect.
dawn. We'll see.
Yes, at dawn we race.
It's so early.
Perhaps.
She
She's
slams
drunk so much.
She slams the glass down, stands up, chair spilling. She kind of sways slightly. Avast! At dawn, we race.
She gives me the impression of
Sea
being the
Shadow
person
versus the
awake.
traveler's gift. And she turns and stomps out. She wears big, high pirate boots, as befits her. So,
all right.
stomps out.
So we're gonna go working on login rights then.
I mean, I don't know. We'll figure
Something
out
of the such.
Talk to Lady Sylvia.
Is it an appropriate hour for us to be making that trip up to the house, Philip, or is this a wait
we'll
till
say
tomorrow?
we'll say it's evening. It's not an unreasonable hour to be drinking, but also Ro is not a
We're
big
pirates.
person, and she doesn't take very many to get fired up. So
I feel like she's going to be up at dawn as well. She gives that big hammered, and 4 hours later, fully recovered.
Yes, that is an accurate description of Ro.
Let's
All right, to the big
let's
house
find
on the
out
hill.
about it.
All right.
Head there.
And she dramatically turns around. Ba-bum.
Oh, there she is.
Oh, hello.
She's got
all right.
beautiful hair.
I've been here in the pub this whole time.
So, so the town's a lot more ramshackle than Vale, and a lot more varied in its architecture. It also doesn't have a keep. Instead, there's a large stone manor house up on a hill overlooking the rest of the town, with very, Victorian Gothic architecture. There's very clear. The most distinctive thing about it is one end of an upper floor is very clearly a domed glass room, like what we might call a solarium, but with a big domed roof on it instead.
Not called the glass onion. I'm
Not called the glass onion.
okay.
So you all head up the path through a well-kept garden along a path flanked by low hedges. You can see a handful of people working on the grounds, and coming up to the manor doors, a servant comes out and nods to you all and says, "May I help you?"
Yes, we were sent by Ro to speak to Lady Sylvia about a potential job that she's in need of doing.
I see. Do follow me. And the servant turns and leads you into a very fine foyer.
Ooh, very nice.
Can I add just a little bit of color for the walk from the tavern
Please
to
do.
this area? Just so Hino is explaining to the guys that in her Null tribe, there wasn't sarcasm. It was just, if you said something nasty, it was met with a fight. So understanding how you could say something that is seemingly rude and not turn into a fight was just sort of what she was looking to comprehend.
Would there,
Yeah, you see
along the way, would
Go
there
ahead.
be some sort of a gesture or something that would be helpful for us to use to let you know that as an identifier of when we're being sarcastic, so you learn it along the way?
A sign that said sarcasm that we could hold up as we say it.
All right,
You
see
know,
now
I could
that
probably
right
make
there.
one.
What? No, see, now that right there is an example of him being sarcastic.
Oh,
Right, so something a little. We'll stay serious for now. Something a little more subtle that would help you. Is it like
We
a.
licked our lips. Like,
Okay, right, okay, well, I need literally just this moment
So
from you,
upsetting.
Aaron. Just this moment for you, Aaron, to let us nail this down so that these moments will be successful. At least potential for humor if we knock this out.
so are you guys able to wiggle your ears? We're able to wiggle our ears. Are you?
No, I'm
No.
no.
I've never tried before.
How about can you wiggle your can you wiggle any part of your head?
My head. This is a really good idea, side.
That right there. Again, sarcastic. Why don't we go a little more subtle? A little bit more subtle so maybe others around us aren't going to think it's so weird. What if we wink at you when we're being sarcastic? Just a quick little no, and we won't make it noise. Okay.
that sounds great. That sounds great.
Perfect. All right. Oren, I swear to the gods.
That's what I'm here for, everyone.
Is it? All right.
Little bit of brevity. And you love it.
Oh, we don't love it. Okay.
Right.
Got
Well,
it. Great, because
might.
that's true. I didn't really love it. So.
This is going swimmingly already.
Fantastic.
And everyone can have a luck point.
Yeah.
Goodness. Yes. So, into a very nice foyer.
And I'm sorry, I didn't catch your name, sir.
Oh, yes. My name is Dermot.
Dermot. Nice to meet you, Dermot. How long have you been working for Lady Sylvia?
Oh, I've been with the Farwynds since I was a lad.
Oh. Well, nice to see loyalty is not dead in the principalities.
Oh, no, indeed. Funnily enough, loyalty was the name of the previous Lord Farwind's favorite hunting hound, and he, in fact, is dead.
That is darkly
Quite.
humorous, yes.
Quite funny, that. Yeah, I do, in fact, see the humor there.
I'll see if Lady Farwynd is available. And
Thank you.
He leaves you in the foyer for a few moments. While here, you have some time to look around.
Rob the place.
You do have time to attempt to rob.
Please don't. Please don't.
That's true.
Oh, all of a sudden.
Yes,
we go
Sahina,
for
let's rob the
stealing
place.
Okay. That's great.
There are stairs leading up, which Dermot heads up. In the foyer, there are portraits along the walls of presumably various members of the Farwynd family, various lords and ladies Farwynd going back, and you are probably left here for maybe 5 minutes. The servant comes back down, accompanied by a human with very bright coppery hair and green eyes. He nods at you all as he passes by and then heads out the door. And the servant says, "Lady Sylvia will see you now," and turns and leads you all upstairs, down a number of corridors.
As we're walking, Oren would inquire about the gentleman that just left, just as making small talk.
A business associate of Lady Sylvia, I believe.
Oh, interesting. Does she have a lot of business associates coming and going?
She keeps up a lively correspondence with various friends and associates throughout Corvair, and receives visitors on a somewhat regular basis, yes.
Oh, she must rely upon you heavily to help manage all of it and keep the rabble-rousers out, I bet.
A rabble hasn't been roused here in 45 years, I should say.
Well, good work then, Dermot.
I'm right there with you, Colin.
Really tickled me.
I know.
I can see that. You are led finally to the strange domed glass room at the far end of one of the corridors.
Philip, and if this doesn't lead anywhere, it's totally fine. Could I make some kind of check to get Dermot talking about, like, I imagine probably not a whole lot of people, like, genuinely in good faith converse with him. So, try to get him talking more about, like, what Lady Sylvia might be up to, or, like, interesting people that have been coming and going.
Sure.
Loyalty is dead after all. So
I would take a persuasion check. I would also accept a deception check if you're trying to disguise what you're trying to do.
no, I will do persuasion. 'Cause, yeah, I just like talking to the guy, and if
Sure.
he gets talkative, great. That's a 14.
Okay. So as you're walking along, Dermot says, yes, Lady Farwynd is a avid writer of letters, has never adopted the modern convenience of the sending stations, won't have House Civis here in the town.
Smart.
Doesn't want anyone, no matter how well paid, reading her correspondence before sending it.
Yeah.
I understand that.
So, has continued to rely on the somewhat lost art of handwritten letters.
I will say, once the sending stones became more prevalent, it really was a lost art form. There used to be a certain level of artistry that went into communicating with other people.
Oh, yes, you
over
can't
long distances.
communicate anything deep in 25 words.
Exactly.
What's next? The people will start replacing words with letters for abbreviation.
Ah! Could you imagine?
Not at all.
Or using
Absurd
punctuation in absurd configurations to express emotions rather than writing out the emotion.
notion. Punctuation already expresses emotion. That's what it's for.
But in a way you would not like.
That was profound.
No.
You arrive at the
Semicolon in
door.
parentheses.
Why would you put a semicolon before a parenthesis? And why use how can you use it in parenthesis without an opening parenthesis?
See? Exactly. You hate it already, Dermot.
I do. It's deeply inappropriate. I won't have it in my house. And he opens the door and then walks away, muttering to himself about the abuses of punctuation.
Colon capital P.
Inside, there is a greenhouse of sorts. But all over the floor, there are lines and circles and various other shapes done out in like metal that's been inlaid into the tiles of the floor. And when you look up at the glass of the roof, what you see is that the glass has been marked all over in such a way to show stars and moons and you can see evidence of the ring of Sybaris. For those of you who don't know, Eberron is a ringed planet, and so you can see the ring in the night sky. And standing in the middle, just looking up, is a tall Koravar woman with sort of medium brown skin and just shockingly dark black hair that falls like just it's got shimmer. It's not like, weirdly black, but it is very, very black hair. And as you approach, she says, "Rose friends, yes?"
Yes, precisely. She sent us here to speak to you, in fact.
Yes. I thought she might pawn the job off on someone else.
She did not seem to have much interest in settling logging disputes in the Stoneheart Principality.
Poor girl lacks ambition, doesn't see the big picture.
Well, most of that
it's a
lies
shame.
in presentation, I believe. Maybe we can help with that.
Perhaps.
But we are more than happy to assist you. We are an ambitious crew and would love to help Redwake Point and the Farwind family with anything they need assistance with.
Well, it is, perhaps, while it does indeed have to do with logging rights, if Ro had been willing to listen to the entirety of it, she probably would have found it slightly more interesting. It is a job for people of action, otherwise I would not have engaged a crew.
Fair.
I have negotiated a arrangement for the Stoneheart Principality to take over a logging operation in my domain. And there is a problem. Something seems to have moved into the area that does not care for the loggers, and several have been badly injured, I believe. And she finally turns and looks at you, and her eyes are probably brown, but they're dark enough to look black. And she has perhaps the most intense look, just intense gaze of anyone you've ever seen. She is wearing initially a pair of spectacles, which she takes down and looks at you all carefully. Yes. I think you'll do.
Thank you.
In any case, the Stoneheart contact. There are 3 of you.
A member of our crew stayed behind. She had some personal business to attend to.
Interesting.
Is that it?
She
A good number.
turns and regards the ceiling for a while.
Were you expecting it?
Shh.
All right. All right. Yep.
All right. Yes, it's probably fine still.
What do the stars tell you, Lady Farwind?
That would be a very long conversation. What I require is that the area be made safe and usable for the Stoneheart Principality's loggers. In whatever manner you are able to accomplish that. My understanding is that the trouble has been of a rather violent nature, and so it may, of necessity, come to violence. But I leave it to you. It may perhaps be able to be creative and come to some other conclusion.
All right. Seems like a potentially straightforward job, so we're more than happy to take this on. What were you thinking in terms of payment for services rendered?
I find that what people ask for tells me interesting things about themselves. What do you think the job is worth?
Well, I know that we are obviously operating as agents of Lesh Durga in this, as in all things we do when we are the crew of the Traveler's Gift. So if you are amenable to this being a show of good faith and good favor and just allowing this to bring our principalities closer together, I think that would be fine by us.
Interesting. Very well. No direct payment. Well, the logging camp is about 3 miles out of town to the northwest. I believe you will find the Stoneheart representative, a Goliath called Dragomir, there. He should be able to explain the situation in more detail.
All right. Thank you. We will see ourselves out.
Yes.
Pleasure.
Yes, it was interesting.
Indeed. And Oren goes for the door.
Finian winks at Zahaina.
Oh. Gotcha.
Yeah, just
So-
head for. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I really wanted to ask her for a fancy hat as payment, but I think I've learned enough right now that would not have been appropriate, right?
I mean, you could have. We should discuss what we want for payment prior to having these meetings moving forward, because I just kind of winged it because I wasn't sure what we would want. And it seemed like the way that she presented the possibility of payment, that asking for gold was going to make us seem dumb. I don't know, but
I don't
Which is a really good
exactly know what
negotiation
we're off to
strategy.
do, though. So I feel like we were being asked to decide payment for a job we don't even know what we're doing, except the stars have an opinion on us and our number.
Indeed. Also, the payment that we got for the last job, Sahaina, could buy you an extremely fancy hat with money to spare. So we will go hat shopping sometime soon.
Absolutely. I
And
mean,
you-
but there's nothing wrong with having more than one fancy hat, is all I'm saying.
You could buy multiple fancy
I
hats with your
think
current
you start at one and you decide what it is you like and you don't like, and you adjust your shopping.
And also,
from
you
there.
make sure that it brings you the satisfaction that you think owning a fancy hat will. A lot of people go out and buy 5 fancy hats, then realize, oh, I'm not that into fancy hats, but you already
they?
invested so much money.
Do
Yes,
a lot of
the
people
hat
buy 5
heads is
fancy
what I hear
hats?
them called.
I
Yes.
don't. I'm unfamiliar with this.
Iconic pirates come up with their own hats and then people buy them.
This really sounds like a personal experience story from Oren.
This is me explaining
Sometimes
sneakers.
you
to
get really
Eric.
into something and you buy a whole bunch of sets of them, and then you discover you don't really aren't a hat guy.
I find it, what's the word she just used when you winked? Interesting, that you think I don't already have fancy hats.
Are you wearing a fancy hat right now?
Well, I don't wear fancy hats when I'm out, but
Then-
I have fancy hats.
Do you wear
Why would I
fancy
know that
hats
you
when
have
you're
fancy
in?
hats if you don't wear them
Well,
out?
why did you
Do you
think I didn't have a fancy hat?
Do you only
Because
buy
if I had fancy
to
hats,
keep
I
on
would wear
at
them
home?
everywhere.
Well, but you're also
See my
not
fancy
7 feet
coat
tall.
that I stole off a corpse? I wear it everywhere now.
Yeah,
I
he's
know, I'm
literally
still
not
upset
taking
about
it
that
off.
corpse.
I'm pretty sure he sleeps in it.
I'm not weird about it.
Sure. Says the guy who brung it up right now.
I mean, you're wearing a dead man's boots, so I guess we're all weird, aren't we?
I take
Well, wait a
him
minute.
off.
I guess I'm the weird one. I don't have any dead people's anything on me. Okay, maybe we can get that.
So we'll kill a fancy hat head and we'll get you squared
Steal
away.
his hats. Yes.
Okay.
No,
Wow.
wink.
As long as he deserves
Wait, sorry.
Wink.
Oh! Oh! God. All right.
That's good, because there's a guy wearing a very fancy hat coming right down the street. Okay, off to find Dragomir.
Yes.
Okay. You're in a town. Do you have any stops along the way, or just heading straight on?
How far from the ship are we? In the town
not-
proper.
It's probably I don't know. It probably took you 15 minutes to walk from a dockside pub up to Lady Farwynds' house.
Right, so not knowing what it is we're going to do, I need to stop by the workshop just ever so briefly, if y'all would, just real quick.
Okay.
Five
Sure.
minutes in and out. So Finian's going to head back towards the ship. I don't know if anyone's joining.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything that Oren wants to buy. So unless there's a fancy hat shop on the walk, and then she's going to keep signing up, blowing all of her money on fancy hats.
wait. So, Finian is going back to the workshop on the ship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Heina is going to. I want to come with you. I got something I can pick up too.
Okay. All right. Well, fine.
Okay. So the two of you head back to the ship. Oren, are you walking with them or just gonna hang?
Oren's gonna go to the Sea Shadow.
Okay. Cool. All right. So you all head back to the docks and then split up. Oren heads over to the Sea Shadow. The two of you head up onto the Traveler's Gift. What are you doing at the Sea Shadow, Oren?
He's gonna go to Ro's quarters and be like, if he can hear her snoring through the door, kick the door open dramatically. But if not, then just knock.
Okay. So you get up the gangplank, and a few spaces in, and then you feel a little pointy thing against your lower back. And someone says, and a voice behind you says, "Avast!"
Avast, indeed. And I stomp my foot twice. Is this a password thing?
Be ye who boards the Sea Shadow unbidden.
I ye be Oren de Wyvern, and I'm here to see my friend Ro. Who are you? And Oren tries to look over his shoulder behind him.
You're friends with Ro. You see Ro's kid sister.
Okay.
Tally. And she has a very real rapier pointed at your back.
Tally, are you going to stab me or not?
I'm thinking about it. No, I'm not going to stab you.
Is your sister asleep already? I just saw it, thread and spindle.
Yes, she went down and said she was going to have a nap. And that I had the con.
Good. Well, you're doing a great job, considering I just walked in here like I own the place. So, well done.
It's right, because you don't.
That's true. But I am going to go talk to your sister. With your permission,
All right.
of course.
Permission granted.
Thank you, Tally.
So, you go downstairs. You kick the door open dramatically. Ro falls out of her hammock, scrambles around on the floor, and comes up with a hand crossbow pointed at you. Hair
no, don't shoot.
everywhere. Why?
Bet you're seeing double at this point. You couldn't even hit me if you wanted to.
Find out.
That I won't. Get your things gathered. We're going on a job. You're coming with us.
Why am I? I don't want to go on a job. What? Why are we going on a job?
Because I have a job from your aunt. She wants you involved. She thinks you should be involved. And it's going to be more exciting than you let on. So.
What? Says who?
Says me. I did not present this as a question.
What's making it exciting all of a sudden? It wasn't exciting before. It was about logging.
There are loggers being killed by something in the area they wish to log in, and so the thing that is killing them needs to be cleared out. Ta-da!
It's not that exciting, probably.
Oh, please. Put that hand crossbow of yours to good use.
Okay. She gets up and put myself back together. Get out the door.
All right, fine. Jeez. Shuts the door behind him.
There's a lot of thumping and stumbling around inside. And then when the door swings open, Ro is dressed like a pirate. She has on a leather jerkin. Her sleeves are blousy. And she has a rapier slung at her side.
Are you sober enough for this?
I'm plenty sober.
I didn't ask if you were sober. I know better than that.
I'm plenty sober.
Fine. Well, let's go to the Traveler's Gift. Let's head to my ship to meet up with the rest of the gang.
Right.
I assume Tally can handle the ship while you're gone.
Probably. It's unlikely that anything terrible will happen.
How many members of the crew are on the Sea Shadow?
You only saw Tally when you came aboard.
I guess normally, like, what's the normal operating crew?
Oh, there's usually a crew. Tally is not usually on crew. Ro's not crazy.
Gotcha.
They're in port. Ro has a crew of 5 people.
Okay.
So as you come up on the deck, Tally is standing, like on the wheel, like she's like sort of spread eagle hanging onto the wheel. Ro walks by, plucks her fancy pirate hat off of Tally's head, puts it on her head.
Here come the fancy hats.
And says, "I'll be back, Tally. The ship is yours, but don't go anywhere." And
Good
follows you down the deck. Meanwhile, over on the Traveler's Gift.
All right, I need just 2 shakes. I'll be real quick about it. And Finian goes into his space, and you hear some frantic kind of clamoring.
While that's happening, Sohina runs to her room and grabs a very plain skull cap that she has cut the ear holes out of, and she has unstitched the hem because it was going to be too short for her big head. So she's pulled the hem down and stitched the ear holes, and she's dyed it pink.
Yes.
And then
Amazing.
she
Love that.
Jealous all of a sudden.
runs back and busts into where Finian is.
Bursts into as she bursts into the room, she sees a purple hammer, glowing purple, in his hand, and he's preparing to tap on the armor, and is startled by seeing her, and when it connects, the armor disappears.
Whoa.
All right.
Was that supposed to happen?
We'll see. And as he opens his hand, the hammer dissolves and reforms as the amulet on his necklace.
Cool.
I don't know. I guess I'm ready now.
Okay. See?
Oh,
Right?
tis
Fancy hat.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think your hat's lovely.
Thank you.
I don't know why I expected you to not have a fancy hat.
Right, sure. This is what I was saying.
You
I
look
can't wait
lovely.
until Oren sees it. Thank you.
I think it's worth showing off. Are you certain that something of such quality is what you want to be wearing out in the woods while we go probably fighting something at a logging camp? I just worry that it might get damaged.
Sohina stares
And it's
for a moment.
Bright pink.
She was waiting for possibly a wink and doesn't see it, and then she kind of sits back a little bit and goes, oh, yeah, okay.
I think you show it to Oren when we can celebrate. That once we're done and we go for drinks, that's the time. You put on the fancy hat for going out.
Okay. All right, but don't let me forget, okay?
And I won't say a word
And you'll
of it.
tell him you saw how fancy my hat is, right?
Oh, I'm going to keep the surprise for you so you can still
Oh.
have that moment of
Okay.
wowing him with your own hat.
All right. Okay.
Perfect.
Sure. Okay.
Amazing. So you all, the four of you, reconvene, and you head out of town, up to the northwest towards the logging camp. And that is where we will leave this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been Blades and Banners. If you want to get in touch with any of the wonderful people here, you can find links to their various things in the description down below, as well as a link to the Geek Pantheon Discord, and to our merch store. New episodes of Blades and Banners drop on Mondays, and our Q&A show, The Ship's Log, drops on Fridays over on our YouTube channel. And until next time, thanks for rolling with us.